Hey, Richard. Yeah. Jen. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, switch on your cameras. We'll wait for other people to join. Maybe in a few minutes we can start. Great. Yeah, everyone is just joining. And meanwhile, as people are pouring into class, you should feel free to, if anyone has any questions at all about anything, any other concepts we've talked about so far, any related things that might be important for this class, just bring it up now, right? So we can treat the first part before we get into the actual material for the class. We can treat this first part of the class as a meta class, meaning we can talk about issues that are related to the class and the learning of the material and so on and so forth. Yeah, for the first few minutes, and then we'll launch you into the actual material for the class.
I had a bunch of questions, but I figured them all out at the last minute.
Yeah, sure. You can ask now because I think we won't start for another 5 minutes while we're waiting for people to switch on their cameras and also join. Yeah, see, well, yeah, I think Mark just joined, so we'll give people. Yeah, go ahead, Richard. Ask your question. If it's something that we can consider during class, we'll talk about it while we're waiting for other people.
No, my question was really stupid. I opened up the Genius bar or whatever they call it. And
On Apple, what is this on Apple?
no. I opened up the Are You a Genius? The little circle.
Oh, I see that one. Yeah.
Right, because I just now getting started on it, and I
Yeah, but
couldn't.
we're not really actually going through that. The Genius Circle is not relevant anymore because you guys are automatically enrolled by virtue of doing CS2A BC. You are on track to follow that Genius thing. I think we created that as an intern project a few quarters ago, and then I just merged it into the class. So don't worry about that thing. What you need to do is not the Genius thing, but just follow through the questing trail, which is quite separate.
Yeah, the quest.
This question.
I just couldn't find where the quests were. They're in a manual that are stuffed somewhere in a file, and I was having a really hard time finding it of how to get started, but I figured it out right at the last minute before class
Well,
started.
actually, it's good that you raised that because why don't we do that today? Why don't we do a similar walkthrough of the very first one, essentially a freebie. We'll just whoever is going to do the screen sharing today, the first one to do it, we'll just do that, and then from there we'll take to the next level, which is basically reproducing what we did last class. I'll try to remember what we did, and then we'll take that to the next level. Incorporate a few more things. Also give more people a chance to code these things and get practice in these things. Yeah.
And then the other question is that if I had a question for you, Mr. or Professor,
Yeah.
um, I didn't see where you left your email or contact information anywhere. Is that intentional, or should I just contact you?
No, there is technically you can contact me through Canvas. Anybody can contact me through Canvas.
Canvas
Yeah. Oh, the best thing is to just post the
on
question.
Reddit?
Even if it's a direct personal question, you can just post it on Reddit. I don't mind, as long as it's not asking what is your social security number. Yeah. So I'm okay. You can ask me anything, right? If I know the answer and I'm able to answer, I will answer it publicly. Yeah. And no.
That sounds like some of the job recruiters that they have out there. They're scammers that they try to kind of con you into thinking they're going to hire you, and they say, "Oh yeah, what's your social security number? And can you send a copy of your driver's license too?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't need a job that bad."
Yeah. Great. Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, so the rest of you guys should switch on your cameras, and then someone should take the screen and start coding. And in fact, what we'll do, we'll start with someone who hasn't coded before on screen. Zara, you actually did have some questions about how to do the questing and all, right? So I'm looking at you now. You haven't got your camera on, which means you're high probability for being picked to live code in class. And so why don't you share your screen, and then we can, the first thing we'll do today is essentially do the very first quest. Yeah, we'll do the very first quest. I'll walk you through it, or people will walk you through it. And anyone who's watching this video will instantly know. All right, that's how we do the first quest. And essentially every other quest is very similar. You just have to change the file here and there, and then you'll get into the role of doing this. But I think it helps to get the first a walkthrough for the very first quest, especially since Richard also brought it up. Zara, thank you for sharing your screen. Yeah, get rid of the top, the comment and everything. Control A, delete. Is it control or command? Yeah, control. Oh no, is this a Mac or a PC? It's a Mac, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't see the top control bar of the Chrome or the Safari window at all. Where is the maximize, minimize, and all those things that you see in Safari? Oh, it's up. Oh, you actually have hiding. Yeah, I've never used that, so I don't know. All right, great. So you put in the usual comments. No, actually, yeah, put in the comments saying class code for what is today's date? 18th April. Yeah, class code for 18th April. And then on the next line in a comment, you can say, this is just going to be a rehearsal of questing by doing a walkthrough of quest number 1. That's all. Yeah.
Professor, could you please repeat again? This is just going
Yeah,
to
this is going to be a walkthrough of a quest number 1, which is the very first homework problem. Quest number one. Yeah. You can actually say quest 1, because I think that's how we refer to it in the forums and all. And then people, and in parentheses, you can say tiger, because lots of people in CS2A, I've noticed, hey, I've been working for 3 or 4 days on the first quest. I don't know how to solve it. I go and enter the password, a lion called mouse heart or something like that. Then you realize they've been working on the Java problem for 1 whole week and thinking that's the first CS2A problem. But anyway, it's not a big deal, because, the first quest is all about, it's almost the same in every language. You're just getting through the, mechanics of this. Right, going to quest one, no, number one, quest number one, and within parentheses say tiger. No, just say one, the one, digit 1. Yeah. No.
one.
No.
Okay, got it.
1.
I don't know why it just stopped.
Oh, it's not sharing?
No, it works now.
Okay, now after the 1, within parentheses say tiger, because just to make it clear to people that this is a tiger quest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then put a space before the parentheses so that it's separated from the 1. Great, tiger. All right, so everybody should know this is the very first homework problem. On the next line, you can say this is the first homework problem for CS2A. We'll put that in comments too, right? This is the first homework problem for CS2A. And it's due by Sunday. What is this Sunday? Today is 18. I don't know, 18 plus 3, maybe 4. 21st or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, do this one. All right, this is the first homework problem for CS2A. All right, so on the next line, I say to do, this is where our code should go, right? And our code should go below this line. Our code should go below this line. And in fact, what we'll do is, before you do that, on the same line, say, this is, and I think there was a question and Caitlin actually answered this. Maybe Ava has asked a question, or someone asked a question and Caitlin answered this, right? No, after this line, after, not before, after.
Okay.
Yeah, after this line, and then go to the beginning of that line, put a blank line and start another comment. Go to the beginning of the same, yeah, right? Start another comment. Right now, in this comment, say student space ID, student space ID. No. Student, and then ID, right? With a space between them. ID.
Okay.
Right. And also you can make it more readable by making capital S for student. It doesn't matter, but it'll look nicer. Yeah. And then after the ID, put a colon. What is that? Shift semicolon, colon. Yeah, and then put a space. Right, and then just type your name, Zara. Okay, all right. Now go to this line number 5 and hit enter. Now everybody should be doing the same thing because this is essentially a first quest. Although I know some people have already finished it. Richard said he's already finished it, and so gone through the trouble of figuring it out himself and all. So some of you have already done it, but if you haven't, you just have to follow these steps, and that will basically take you there. All right, now here, this is where your code is going to go. But let's do something simple here. Open another tab, and just go to onlinegdb.com. In fact, it doesn't have to be online GDB. You can go to anything, even cpp.sh.com, whatever it is. Another tab, open another Chrome tab. Yeah, go to onlinegdb.com or something like that. Yeah, enter. You know that thing, copy everything starting from hash include all of that to the end. Yeah, copy that and put it in your file. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, the solution to the first homework problem is all around the web. You just copy and paste and you got it. Yeah, put it there. No, in fact, but let's be more C++ compliant, less C compliant, right? But not less C compliant, because C++ is also C compliant. Stylistically, change that stdio.h to iostream. Yeah, and then close it, and then on the next line, one more blank line and say using namespace. Yeah. One more, using namespace standard. So these are the standard pieces of a C++ program, and in a main method. And as to why these things need to be in place, or what the meaning of these things are, we should basically just restrict to a separate conversation, where we use Josh and Caitlin in a tutorial session, or even on Reddit. Yeah, and spare the class. Meaning spare class time to discuss these things, because we have talked about these things a lot, but I think it'll be more exciting for us to, we've talked about it so many times. Just look in the past videos, or initiate a brand new discussion elsewhere, but we'll go on with doing this. All right, so if you now get rid of the blank line, number 9. Now if you run this, you should actually see the output, hello world. Yeah. No, you have to choose the language. You have to choose the language. Any C++ should do. Any of the C++. Yeah, that's fine. There you go. It worked. It ran, and then you see the output hello world. Now here's what you're going to do. Now copy this whole thing, Command A and copy. Command A and copy. Command A and then copy. Command C.
Okay.
All right. Now go to your desktop, right? Go to your desktop. Yeah, share your desktop, or go to your desktop. Do you have a desktop? All right, yeah. Now just create a random folder on your desktop. You're going to delete this folder later, okay? Create a random folder on your desktop and call it, temp, right, for now. And then you're going to delete it later. Call it, No, new folder, not open, right? New, kind of, yeah. You want to say, click on your desktop and say, no, click on your desktop. Don't your tax return and all that. Kill that. Okay? Just click on your desktop, new folder. Where's your new folder? I don't see it. Is it behind your window?
The untitled one, I think.
Oh, there it is. Untitled. I see it. Now call that. No, call instead of untitled, call it CS2A April 14. Is it April 14? April 18. CS2A April 18. So you'll remember that you have to delete this, right? And then also drag it from there to some other location, so you can easily identify it and delete it. April 18. All right, now double click on this. Yeah, and go in. Now here you want to create a new text edit document. So you see that magnifying lens at the right top of your screen, right at the top of your screen. You see the magnifying lens, the magnifying lens, right next to your Wi-Fi, and then a magnifying lens.
That's right.
Yeah, click that and type text, TEXT. All right, so this is the app we want to run. This is the exact same as Notepad. You know, it's something very similar to Notepad, but some sophisticated version of Notepad on Windows machines, or you know, Emacs or VI on your Linux and Unix machines. We're just using a dumb text editor because it doesn't really, this text editor for the first few assignments, you don't need to know about C++. The editor does not. So later on, you'll graduate to using something like VS Code, because you know, after you get to about quest number 7, until quest number 6, you can do everything in VI or some plain dumb editor. After quest 6, it becomes more what shall I say, more appropriate, or also worth your time to start using IDEs, which means you have 6 weeks to basically, you know, start using IDEs and have 6 weeks to get familiar with that. And we have lots of expertise, right? I'm not an expert in any of these, actually. Most of the time I just use plain editors to write most of my code, but there are huge experts in Xcode, VS Code, all these things in the STEM Center. So all you need to do is make a time and go to the STEM Center and say, hey, I'm stuck with this VS Code problem. Can someone help me? And someone will actually help you. Yeah. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to say, I need a CS tutor. Okay. I think they have CS tutors, and I don't know, they have some classification. You got to go and ask Constantine how they set it up this quarter. Right. So this is basically, so here, say, click on new document, click on new document. Yeah. No, no, before you paste it, go to format, and change this to a plain text document, plain text, make plain text. Yeah. Right. All right. Now, anything you save is just going to be saved as an ASCII. Now paste it. Now you got the code. You can paste it. All right. So this is what you want to submit into the questing system. Yeah. Okay. Now you want to save it. Save it as a file in that folder that you just created. So it's no, we're not leaving, you know, trash all around the place. Okay. Save it. Yeah, save it. Command S.
Command S.
Command S. All right, you know, give it the name. What was it? Hey, can someone tell me what the name of the first, the name of the file for the first assignment is supposed to be called? Hello world with a capital H?
Or world.
Was it? What is it?
Hello_world, no capitals.
All capitals.
No capitals.
No capitals. Okay, thank you. Who was it?
You also need a
Yes.
file extension. Good.
Great. Okay, save it. Now, now go to that folder that you have. You know, go to that folder. You should see that folder file there. Go to that folder that you created. Yeah, double click on the folder. Where is that file? Oh, you didn't save it in this folder? Where did you save it? Oh, try, you know, save it one more time. Save as, command, click save as, and also you got to figure out where you saved it. I actually, you know, click on save, click on save as, click on save as, because I will also clean it up for you, so you don't have to go hunting for this file later. No, file and then save as. Click on file and then save as. Oh, you don't have save as. No, one sec, okay? One sec. Can someone tell me how do you find where this file is? Where is this? How do you find where it saved it?
Maybe find it.
No,
You can try clicking
You
the
might wanna
finder
check
and type
document.
it in.
I have to do a search in order to find a file.
You can either do a search, but that's pretty slow. If I had to guess, it's probably in documents.
Just double click on that word hello world.cpp. No, oh yeah, on the title right there. Double click on it. Yeah, click that. No. Double click, not on the arrow. There you go. Excellent. Wait, one sec. Where? Click
Oh,
on.
it's in your
Oh,
iCloud.
yeah.
It's
all
in
right.
that's not.
All right, now go to desktop. Click on desktop.
That's
All right,
still
save it
the
on the desktop
iCloud,
for
I
now.
think.
Yeah, save it on the desktop for now. We'll move it into this folder, but now later on. So later on, you got to remember, Zara, that when you log into your iCloud drive, clean it out, because it's going to remain as trash, and you'll never, 10-15 years later, you may find it there. And so it's best to clean up things when you still remember. Okay. All right. Now, you don't maximize the window. Yeah, get it to the regular size again. No, don't minimize it, but just click on the green circle, not the, yeah, there you go. Oh gee, what the hell? No, click on the green again. What happened before? No, make it smaller. Make it smaller. Yeah, thank you. All right, now you can close all those windows. You should be able to find this file on the desktop. Just put it into the folder that you leave the online GDB there. Close this. You can close this window because you don't need this anymore. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Where is this file? You just saved it on the desktop. There you go. Hello world.cpp. Just pull that file into your CS2A folder. You know, when you're actually into that CS2A folder that you just created. No, not that one. Not that one.
Put it wrong, please.
No, just do command Z. No, don't do anything. Just do command Z. Just do command Z.
I did.
All right, so minimize this, or kill this. Don't minimize it. Kill it.
Kill it.
Yeah, meaning the hit the X instead of minimize. Yeah, hello world.cpp. Now drag it into that. I think drag it into that folder called untitled. There you go, and put it into that untitled folder. I think you hit command Z too many times and you undid the. Oh, it actually got the name now.
No, it's inside now, I think. Yeah.
All right, okay. Now, one of the things, it's actually, it was fun for me, okay? It may seem like it was exasperating, the effort was all exasperating, we're trying too many things in here, but I'm glad we went through all of this. And I didn't, it was fun for me to actually do this, especially with someone who's doing it for the first time, because you run into all of the possible situations that a new person, trying to code will run into. So thank you, Zara, first of all, for volunteering and also doing these things. And apologies for, cluttering up your desktop. You got to remember to clean up your iCloud as well as this folder you can get rid of. Yeah. All right. Now let's go to that browser again. Go to your browser. Right now, yeah. All right. So open another tab and go to the questing site. Yeah. Open another tab. Go to the questing site. Another tab, yeah, and go to quests.nonlinearmedia.org. And by the way, you know what, Zara, I don't think this is this a private tab? Is it a private tab or a non-incognito tab? I don't think this is a private tab. Is this a private tab?
I don't know.
I just minimize this. I'll show. No. Before you minimize it, hit wait. Command Shift N. I think that opens a private tab. Okay, Command Shift N. Command Shift N.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
You can't open a private tab. Here, go to File, go to the File menu, and open a private tab. Open new private tab, private window. Okay, yeah, it did say Command Shift N right there. Right. Now you can minimize the other one because that is not private. Okay, if you maybe you got lucky this time, because sometimes if it's not a private tab and you're typing something into some window, it'll basically autocomplete your driver license or social security number. Yes, you don't know because it's not a private tab. Yes or no, Zara?
Yeah.
Okay, so anytime anybody is sharing your screen, please absolutely make sure that it is a private incognito window, hopefully just open fresh for the class. And I say that because also, this is being recorded and it's going to be free to see for all of the students. All of the students can see it. Anytime you go into, log into Canvas and go to Zoom, you can see all the lectures. And so that means that if you work through your quests and your student ID is being auto-completed, someone can also work out all your passwords. If I haven't done up to quest 8, but you've done quest 8 and I know your student ID, I can just punch it in and I'll see all the passwords. Yeah. So you got to be careful about a lot of these things. So thank you all very much for keeping that in mind. Okay, I'm glad I noticed that because you got your Canvas appearing and all, and I realized, all right, go to the questing site, quests.nonlinearmedia.org. Yeah, hit enter. No, I think you had the autocomplete. No. You had the autocomplete and then you deleted it and started typing. Just type QUE. Yeah, there you go. See, the autocomplete is correct. Just hit enter. Now type, not this one. The password for the first quest is a tiger named Fangs. Okay, everybody should know this. I think it's also in the syllabus. A tiger named Fangs. Okay, did you hear a sound?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, if you click here, you'll see if you click on the circle, you'll actually see the spec, the spec sheet. And the spec sheet tells you everything regarding what you need to do. You can, you can download this too. You can download this right here and you can see the entire spec. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do, right? But we know what we need to do. So we're just going to go into this. You can click the X on the at the top. Let's get rid of the spec. Right now, now what you need to do is this file that you've just created, hello world.cpp, you're going to drag it into here. How can you do this? Can you decrease the size of this window a little bit? Yeah, okay, even that's better. Yeah, go to untitled and then pick up that file and drag it in here. Did you drag it?
I just tried, but I don't know why.
No, you have to click there and then pull it. Yeah. Now, I got to tell you right now, this is not going to give you all full points, okay? Because all of the code that's out there given to you for free by all of the IDEs like VS Code or Online GDB, it is not 100% correct for questing, okay? So you need to make a minor change to get the one full trophy. Otherwise, you only get 0.91 trophies. And I think that's what you would have got here too, right? Now you just have to click anywhere here and it'll just go and get it evaluated for you. And this is the cycle of things you got to follow for every single quest, okay? Every single quest, this is what you got to do. All right, so you see that results are back. That means you can now click on test output and you can see what you got. Okay, now. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had the same mistake. Yeah, I forgot the same. Just capitalize the world.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought it gives you points even if you didn't capitalize. Like I thought you get like 0.8 points or something like that.
No, I struggled on that on the draw cat one. I had an extra space on the top and the bottom line, and I didn't know that for like 20
Oh,
minutes.
you couldn't see that.
I couldn't see it, and it was wrong.
Yeah, here the W's can be seen, but I thought we were getting points for that. But never mind. Hey Zara, but you are okay with this, right? You can figure out what's going on here. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's do one more thing. Okay, go to the top, the URL. Right. Click on the URL.
Okay, let me just make it bigger again.
Yeah. Thank you. Click on the URL.
Here.
Right now, get rid of everything past where it says code / blah blah blah. Get rid of all of that. Okay, just have quest.nonlinearmedia.org. There, and now type Q. Now type Q. Q.
Q.
No, /Q. Okay, so this is a /Q site. So go there. Now here's where you can go and check how many trophies you got. What was the ID you used when you submitted this file?
It was GDB online?
Well, no, whatever was in the student ID line. Now let's go back to your hello world.cpp. Go to your hello world.cpp file. Go to the file. Yeah. Click on hello world.cpp. Click on hello world.cpp. Don't double click on it. Just click. Oh, you have it right there. Yeah. Can you move the whole window to the left a little bit so we can see what it is? Yeah. There you go. What happened? No, don't open it in Visual Studio and all. Where is the student ID line? There you go. I see it. It's the student ID line. Do you see the student ID line, Zara?
Yeah.
What is it?
My name.
Yes. Okay. So just type exactly what you see there. Okay. Exactly what you see there, you type here. Okay. Yeah, hit enter. All right. It says you attempted this the first quest and you got 0 trophies, and which is correct, isn't it? You got to fix it before you get 1 trophy there. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is the basic walkthrough essentially, and it is going to be the same for regardless of how many, which quest you're doing. In fact, it is the same thing even for quest 9 of red. So all the way to mouse or red number 9. This is the thing that loop you're going to follow. And so once you're comfortable with this, then you can basically just focus on the logic. The sooner we are able to get to the place where we can focus on the logic of the problem, the faster, the more comfortable we'll essentially be with whatever we're doing. Because if you look at many of the things that we're trying to learn, whether it is music or math or computer science or things like that, a lot of effort is put into learning the mechanics. Okay, mechanics don't really have a lot of logic and all the things that are really fulfilling that come later. But mechanics, like, like carpentry, learning to carpentry or whatever it is, you guys spend ages and ages like trying to make wood perfectly plain, right? Or you're learning to throw pottery, right? Ceramics, you got to throw hundreds and thousands and thousands of pots. So if, in fact, if you're enrolled in Foothill's ceramic course, right? Throwing on the wheel. I enrolled with Andy Rubles. He's one of our instructors. I don't know if he's on sabbatical this quarter, but if he's not, you should enroll in his throwing on the wheel class. The 5 units, you get 5 units for the throwing clay on the wheel instead of, while also thinking about STEM issues. Right? That is the beauty. You can do one of these other courses, yeah. But since you're not aiming to be the most skillful potter in the universe, you can say, I'm just doing it to relax so I can have something to do with my hands while I can think about this complex algorithm or this incredible, difficult math proof. And you'll be able to do that. And in fact, you'll find out later that you're actually able to think about computer science problems and math problems when you're doing another art form like music or ceramics, rather than when you're playing Fortnite or something else that is engaging with your mind. Okay, because you got to get into something where your body is doing a lot of stuff. I think this is, and then you can, in my experience anyway, because but also ceramics is also very relaxing, and I say that with with 2 reasons. One is to basically say do that to get better at CS2A. The other also is to prevent you guys from signing up for more STEM classes, because I think this weekend is the deadline for dropping classes. Yeah, and so if you have to drop classes, drop as long as you're enrolled in 2 or 3 STEM classes, drop the non-STEM classes, right? No, drop the STEM classes, right? So you're left with at least 2 or 3, right? But don't drop the non-STEM classes. If you're enrolled in them, you should just do them, and then you'll find that your STEM classes will actually benefit from that, right? People think that, well, you know what, I'm only doing like 3 STEM and that person is doing 5 and they're getting more out of STEM. No, actually, it turns out unintuitively or counterintuitively that the person who was doing fewer STEM classes gets more out of STEM than the person who's doing more, STEM classes. So that is my 2 cents. Yeah, and I don't have to go into this again for the rest of this quarter, really, because you won't have a choice. This is the last week for you to make these decisions. Don't drop this class, okay? Because, at least even getting to this point, submitting the first question, getting through the data representation quiz, even if you didn't do your best job and you're going to do it one more time in week 11, all of that is actually substantial investment by you already, right? Don't put it to let it to go waste, and stick with it. Okay, it's going to be harder. I can tell you right now. Okay, after week 4 or 5, it's going to pick up pace. It's going to get harder. You got to devote a lot more time to coding, and then it's going to be less and less about C++ syntax. It's CS2A at the end of the day. So there'll be C++ specific things that are new, introduced every time until about week 10. Okay, but it'll get less and less about the language and more about the algorithms and the way we deal with data in general. Okay, that's why we studied data representation in the first class or the first week, because really computer science in general, assembler or whatever it is, in our case C++, which is not far removed from data, is one of the best ways to actually study how can we fiddle with data in a systematic way. Because you can, if you have a lot of data out there, you can easily fiddle with data in a non-systematic way. Right, because even if you're not an expert, you can give them a lot of data and they can look at it and come up with some big trends that anybody could spot. Yeah, and so that's like saying you could be a caveman and still build a house. You just got to get a lot of rocks together and make a little crevice and you crawl in there and you're protected from the elements. So yeah, that's a house. It's a caveman house. But where does engineering come in? Where does civil engineer or the house engineering come in? Right, same with software engineering too, right? So engineering comes in when you say, well, I'm going to do it in a systematic way so that I can build a house with the least amount of effort, so I don't have to haul a large number of stones, but also giving me the most space and all these other things that I can maximize, right? I can derive these things mathematically in my mind rather than have to build them and learn by experience. So the expertise or the engineering comes in when we say, that instead of moving atoms to figure out what the hell is going on, I'm just going to move electrical fields to figure out what the hell is going on. So I can simulate the thing in my mind and then actually get the best possible, candidates and simulate just those. Okay. And software engineering is like that too. Well, I don't know how we got started talking about that. But basically, if you get into the loop of these things, with after week 4 and 5, we'll start talking more about the algorithms and how we interact with these, the speed at which various things work. All of those really, really fascinating subjects. Okay, you can talk to Josh, Caitlin, who's I think Caitlin is here still. Yeah, Caitlin,
Yeah, I'm
Josh.
here.
Yeah. All these people who've done this class before too. We actually get into that as much as possible in detail, and also do experiments to get a first-hand feel for which is really the heart of computer science. It doesn't matter which language, which course you do, right? We try and get to the heart of computer science as quickly as possible using any medium. And in this case, the medium happens to be C++. It doesn't matter if I was teaching Java, I still use Java, but I want to use Java to get to the heart of what we're trying to talk about, right? So next week, maybe, or a week after, we'll try and play around with vectors and arrays and say, all right, now we've got a data structure that's got a large number of numbers next to each other. What are the things we want to try and do with that, right? And what are the different ways we can try to do this, do the same thing? And is one way better than the other, faster than the other? All those things we can try to experiment, find out, and even do empirical tests like a lab science and try to. We did all these things last quarter, actually. That's why I'm encouraged this time. Give another try. We'll try and do this. Even if not new things, we'll try and do exactly the same things as last quarter to see if we can. In the meanwhile, you guys should see if you have time to watch last quarter's recordings, video recordings, and see if you have any ideas for, hey, you know what, you did this last quarter. Can we try a variation, or can we try another idea similar to that this quarter for us, right? And then we'll try something else. Otherwise, we won't have to fall back on last quarter and say, well, I'll see if I can get some more ideas. I actually did have one idea, so we'll see. Right, okay, so this is it. Okay, is everybody comfortable so far with questing and how to submit files and so on and so forth? Okay, and so anyone who asks a question about how to quest and things like that, you can point them to this video and say, hey, watch the first 20 minutes of this video, and it's a walkthrough of the first quest. Everybody okay with this so far? Everybody happy?
I have a question.
Yes, Francis.
Is there a way to know how many trophies there are per quest?
I don't know. You tell me. No, you tell me if you find out. Okay, I don't know. And that is that is the truth, because over the quarters, what I found was that I went in and stuck in the odd trophy here and there, and then I lost count. Obviously, I can go in and do all the test code one more time and then do the tally up. But I know I have a lower limit on all of these things. I think 190 for CS2A. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I stuck in trophies after 190. I don't know. I don't know where. For 2B, I think it's like 242 trophies altogether. For 2C, it is 265. Okay, they're all fun. Okay, especially as you get to the higher numbered quests, these trophies will actually be fun to win, meaning that it's not going to be fun like Fortnite fun. It'll be fun like it'll take a good chunk of your time to get some of these trophies. But when you get them, you will feel that you deserve every single trophy you get, rather than you get things and you say, well, I got it. But I am pretty sure people, especially in red, in CS2C, later in 2B also, say, every bit of blood and sweat that went into getting these trophies was worth it. And you have to feel it, obviously, right? There's no point in handing out the answer to you just so you can get an A. But what do you get at the end? This A is totally meaningless if you don't know how to use the stuff. So I'd rather you don't get an A, but you know how to use it. Then that's cool. You can still be independent. And all right, so that's it. I don't have anything else to say on the first question, this walkthrough. What we can do now is if Zara is comfortable with coding, which seems to be like perfectly fine, Zara could go back to online GDB in the private window, and then we can try and reproduce the code that we did last class. How about 10 minutes? Okay. Hey, Zara, is this okay with you? Can you do this? Yeah. After you, we got to pick someone who hasn't coded.
Hi, Professor. Just to ask again, I think I might have asked this before. was the actual student ID we put for questing, it's the CW ID, right?
Yeah. So yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's CWID
Okay.
for credit for credit. But if you just want to play around with the questing system, or you say, you know, I got variations of this code that I want to try, or you want to do a bot that keeps submitting for you and not let interfere with your student ID, then you can use a special ID like, you know, Mark 27. Yeah. But sometimes, very rarely, so far, if someone discovers a bug in the questing system, more in 2B and 2C, okay? Then I might ask you to make a submission using a special ID, like, you know, Jesus_debug, right? Then I can track it down and say, well, you know, that actually is legit. And so in fact, you know, Jesus may get extra credit points for identifying a bug in the questing system. But they're, you know, they're well worth it to get it, okay? Because it's hard to get to find a bug in the questing system. But if you do find it, you actually end up improving the system for everybody downstream. You know, your future student. Well, although, you know, I'm retiring and I don't know how much longer the questing will be offered, unless students offer it, continue to offer it. But certainly it improves for everyone downstream. In fact, you know, what you experience now is actually the finely tuned questing system shaped by many generations of students before you. Yeah, because I also get feedback from you guys on what you guys find fun, what is interesting, what is a game of the day. So, right, you know, if it's Fortnite, I can try and find out what's exciting in Fortnite and build some of the Fortnite lingo into error messages, or, you know, trophies you get. So all of those things just to keep you away. It's fun for me, you know, not to keep you engaged, but if you're engaged, it's fun for me. Because then, you know, we all work together as a team in some project that we pick up. Last quarter, we came up with a project. We all ended up having some fun out of it. We built a game out of it. That's, you know, that is a Grady game. You know, Caitlin is doing that research project. Please play that game, okay? Grady, please play that game, and you'll contribute to data and research, and you'll be able to see your results, the results of your contribution at the RSLS symposium next month. Please, does everybody have the link to Grady, the Grady game? And please share the link to the Grady game with all of your classmates in other classes, right? Especially non-STEM classes. Share it with all of them. Is everybody okay with this? Has everybody got a link to the Grady game? Give me a thumbs up if you do. So nobody does. There's a few people. Okay. Hey, yeah. So Caitlin will share the link in chat. Okay. Please do click on the link and play it. It'll generate data and no PII, okay? No personal identification, no privacy or any issue there. So go ahead and play the game and share it, and copy the game and share it with your classmates in other classes. And, you know, even with the other professors maybe, and say, hey, prof, can you share this with, you know, the class? And that'll be fun. All right. So if everybody is okay with this, what we'll do now is I'm not going to say anything, but let's get the comment part of last Tuesday's code. The first 7 lines, I think, were the comment. Does anybody have a comment? You know, who coded last class? Matthias, where's Matthias?
Hi.
Hey, have you got the URL to the code you put last class?
I don't think I do, no.
And you didn't share it?
I mean, I put it in chat for people to like click on, but I don't have it anymore.
Okay, all right, never mind. Hey, Josh or Caitlin or anyone, do you remember what we did last class?
I believe we did the convert a given name into a special number using ASCII.
Okay, all right, great. Okay, why don't we get that done? Okay, so someone is going to walk Zara through this part. Zara, you also got to put a comment at the top saying, you know, class code for so-and-so, and then very briefly in a sentence or two say, we're going to write a program to ask for the user's name, get a special number floating point, okay, and then print it out. Let's get that done. How about, what is it now? 6:45. How about until 7 o'clock? 15 minutes. Get it done. People will walk you through it. You don't have to know how to do it. When it's done, run it. Let's make sure it's good to go. And then when it's there, we'll take it to the next level, okay? We'll say, well, you know what, let's say we want to do something to it, moves things to a function, and, you know, do nice little things with the stuff that we built. Is that okay with everybody? Okay? So with that said, I will
So-
get out of your face if you don't have a question for me. Yeah, someone has a question.
Just last week when we were going through it, it was kind of fast for me and I felt very overwhelmed. I was wondering if we could kind of go in like a slower fashion this week and understand each step more.
Yes, totally. Thank you, Ian. Okay. Hey, whoever is gonna dictate the code for Zara, just make sure that everybody is on the same page. Everybody's got to be on the bus, right? So if Ian or Jan say, hey, slow down, guys. I gotta let me make sure I got this in my own IDE, right? Slow down, okay? And no hurry. We got a lot of time here because we started on the advanced concept sooner, so we got a lot more time to cover all of that. Thank you, Ian, for bringing that up, okay? Everybody should do exactly what Ian did. If you think that it is too fast, just call out and say, just slow down, guys. We only based on you, based on your feedback is how we pace this class, okay? If people are able to absorb things at a insane pace, we'll go at an insane pace. That's fine. Yeah, we can do any speed you want, but we ideally want to go as slow as possible pace because there is no hurry and everybody needs to be together because there's no fun otherwise. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave this in your hands. Go slowly. Someone should be talking, right? Because someone should be talking as soon as Zara is done with the comments. And Zara is not going to code. Zara is just going to be typing. Someone else should call out the code, and Zara will type. And the goal is to get that. Pretty much what we did last class. Josh and Caitlin are there for backup, and I'm also here. Yeah, I'm also here. Just feel free to call out to me. But hopefully none of us. Okay. Hopefully one of you is going to take over and dictate the code. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. Would you feel that it's better that you guys do it yourself with me out of your face? Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up or something, so that I can be confident that you guys will have a good time, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, is to make sure that you can have a good time without me, because I'm not going to stick around with you for 24 hours a day. I'm gone at the end of this class. Yes. So that means that if you want to be doing programming, you got to find out that it is fun, even when I'm not here to push you into having fun. So I'm going to disappear from your face with that intention, right? I'm going to be here behind the laptop. Okay. But let me know if you guys, and keep talking. Otherwise, I'll think that nobody's doing any work and I'll have to come back and talk.
So I put the code in the chat if anybody wants to see it. I took the comments out and added a few things just to experiment, but they're in there.
Yeah, so for number 2 on that comment, you can go ahead and put that we're going to take the we're going to essentially do like a for loop through the name. So that we can go ahead and get the numbers for each of the letters, and then yeah.
Through the name.
Through the name.
Yeah, we're going to initialize a string for the name first, but
So you say store the name in a variable. I guess 2 before 3.
Number 4.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and create like a total counter, so like a integer or
So I have some comments from last class, like in here number 3 is calculate a special number based on their name.
Yeah, actually, if you have the comments, maybe it's better that you put those comments and then we can start with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start. Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So you can start by creating the variable that will store the name in.
And then from there, we'll go ahead and ask for their name, the message, yep. Enter your name.
And then,
End it with the, oh, yeah, that works. And then, yeah, we'll grab their name with the CN. Oh, the sign needs to be the other way, yeah. Semicolon.
Semicolon.
oh, okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Mm,
And then we can create a variable where we'll store the total value.
The for loop, I think we should initialize the total value to 0. So total value equals 0.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. Name that length. Yeah, so basically that first int I equals 0, you're just initializing an integer. And then you're saying that the code inside of this will run until it meets the second statement is true, which is if as long as I is less than name.length or the length of the name then it'll run whatever code is inside. But you need one last thing on the for loop, and that's to increment I to make sure that it's counting how many times it's executing that code.
And from this point, we want to go ahead and use that. You can go ahead and type in the total value. And then space equals. Or sorry, space plus equals.
Yeah, so the plus equals just basically means whatever the current value is plus this value that you'll be adding to it.
And then name square brackets and then square brackets our I, the initialized value.
And that's just saying, okay, what character at what position?
Yeah.
The character at the position I of name.
So then outside of the for loop, go ahead and create an line, and then we'll go ahead and create the average. So in our last one, we had used a float.
Sorry, we use what?
A float type. So it's just another like type for data storage, I guess. Float and then just, yeah, average. And equals. Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and did we need to
So yeah, on Richard's code, it looks like he's casting the values to a float to get a more precise number.
right.
So we can sort of copy what he has over there. He has float in parentheses.
Also put a pair of parentheses.
Like that?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
okay.
type float inside.
And then beside that, you would put total value, which is where we stored the total value of the name.
Besides that?
Yeah, beside the end of the parentheses.
Outside the parentheses.
Yeah, outside of it.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, put a space and then a forward slash. So we're going to divide it by the
So the divide.
length of the name.
And then do the same thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the float thing first.
Inside the parentheses like that?
Mm-hmm. And then for the name dot length, looks like he puts it in parentheses also. Maybe that's something we need to do. So I think he had it with parentheses here. It might not work without it. And then I think, yeah, we just have to move this.
Like that?
Yes.
You'll need one more parentheses after length, like a set of parentheses.
Like how we have it up here.
Mhm.
Mm, Like that?
Yeah. Perfect.
And I guess we can try and run it.
So you'll go ahead and do a
Oh, we need
CI.
Yeah.
Yeah, show the value. Sorry about that.
let's go ahead and just put, yeah, that. And then the average after.
You're special. I don't know. I'm not good in English.
You're fine.
Yeah, that works.
And then we can put average.
Is that it?
We can try it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, and then if we really want to test it out, I guess you could also retry it and then just put like a lowercase a.
Mm,
So
Oh, just sorry, just like the
Just
a
one
by
letter.
itself.
yeah.
Yeah, one
That's-
letter.
okay.
Oh, that works too.
Just so you guys know, when you're dividing two different data types, like you don't have to cast one of them. Like if there's two ints and you cast one of them to like a float or a double, the answer is gonna automatically be a float or a double. You don't have to cast both of them.
Okay.
Great. So is this done now?
Yes, I think.
Fantastic, fantastic. Zara, was this useful? Was this a good, useful exercise for you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
By the way, a few things I wanted to, well, for the next person, we'll try and take this to the next level. What I want to try and do is move that special number computation part to a separate routine called a function. We're going to write a function, and that says, here's the name. We're going in our main method, we're going to say, here is a name, turn that into a special number and give me a number, and then it just gives you a number. Okay, so we want to create a function. That logic needs to be separated out into a function, and that is going to return a 5-digit number. Not, it's going to turn it into a floating point number and then multiply with some large number to turn it into a 5-digit number, and that's what it's going to return. Okay, so that's what it's going to do. Someone else can. Oh, by the way, why are you casting both the numerator and the denominator to float?
That's what Josh was
Yeah, Josh
mentioning.
let us know.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do that.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, all right. So you got that under control. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Oh, you got the endl. For some reason, I vaguely remember, or maybe it was last Tuesday's version of the code. I thought there was an endl missing because I saw the thing and there was no endl after that, but it's there now. Maybe on last week it wasn't there. Okay, I++. Okay, great. By the way, you got an extra blank line on line 20. You don't need it. And since the for statement only has one line, you can actually get rid of the braces altogether. Braces are only technically needed if your for statement has more than one statement, then you group it together as one block. But if there's only one, you can save space and also typing by getting rid of the braces because there's only ones. Get rid of the opening brace also on line 18. Yeah. Total value equals no, but you can have the blank line after the for because it's a different paragraph. You're separating your program into many paragraphs. Not there. It is after the for statement. After the for.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you had before. No. No, that has to be indented in 3 more spaces. Okay, and then a blank line at the end of that line. Go to the end of the line and hit blank line. Okay, I think that's what it was. And I don't think you had a blank line on line 18. Line 18.
Like that?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, but you'll get the intuition generally. After playing with it for a little while, you'll get a feel for what the most common structures of these statements that many programmers use are, everybody has an individual style. But what you'll find by looking at lots and lots of code is that even though everybody has their own style, there is some common style that is a factor. Like, you have a complex mathematical expression, you can factor out a very complex polynomial, even though you may think that it's not a factor, right? But it becomes apparent after a long time that even though there are so many different styles of programs out there, you'll recognize a few standard styles. But within the family, there are many variations, but they're all, and so this is one of the things that kind of becomes, I think, I've seen in a lot of programs, let's say, right? Grouping things together based on whether they're related together or not. Very similar to if you're writing English. If you're an English major or doing English, not English major, hopefully in CS class. No, it's CS2A. Yeah, you can be an English major. But if you're doing an English class and you have to write an essay, and if you turn in an essay, one monolithic paragraph of 1,500 words, it's hard to read, yes? So the teacher or professor will say, break it up. And how do you break it up? You can't just say every 1,500 words, I'm going to break it up. No, same with programs. So you got to read enough novels, read enough English, or read any language really, to get a very good foundation for when their logical structure breaks are, right? Maybe in other languages, they're not, you don't have paragraph breaks, like geographically like that, like we have in English, right? Maybe in other languages, it's a completely different symbol. It's all continuous flowing text, and all of a sudden you have one lithograph that says, well, the next thought begins here, right? So, but after reading their novels, their literature for a long time, you get a feel for these things and say, well, I'm going to write in that language, and I want to follow the same kind of thought sequences and group things together. Same with programming. Fortunately, the idioms are very common in programming for all procedural languages. Okay, what I mean by procedural is, C, C++, Java, Pascal, all these languages, they're all procedural. There's another family of languages, where the programming style is different, like declarative or functional, things like that. They have different idioms that people have used, many different programmers have used, and eventually boil down to some common thing that everybody kind of seems to intuitively feel that belongs to this program. So those are structures, deep structures of the language that seems to be, common, regardless of how many people program. So that's one of them. You'll get to know, come to face many of these in your career as a programmer, and you'll have your own style, which is kind of a medley of many of these things. Okay, all right. So here's what you need to do. You need to create a new function, hopefully not Zara, someone else other than Zara. Maybe what Zara can do is to save time, Zara can click on that. Hey, Zara, can you click on the orange button on top that says share?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that URL, you can share in the chat window, and someone else can fork it, and then they can start from there. The next challenge, 15 minutes for you again. Okay. And someone else can code. This time I want to see more people talking. Okay. This time I was on the other side, and I couldn't tell if you guys were actually working on things or not. I had to come in front of the screen to see what was going on. But on the other hand, if people were talking, if Zara was typing and maybe even just saying curly brace, space, perfectly fine. Okay. All I need to know is, are people engaged? So please keep the airwaves occupied all the time. So the next person to code is going to take this and turn it into a new function. We'll do this before Zara hands over. Okay, go to line 12, Zara. Yeah, hit enter, hit enter. One more time. No, two enters, two times. By the way, why do you have that hash include string? I think you don't need it, okay? Get rid of it and run it. Get rid of that line. Get rid of line 11 altogether. Get rid of line 11. Triple click on line 11, delete it. Yeah. Run it again. I'm pretty sure it'll run. Same thing as before. 122. So it does work, yeah? Okay, all right. So now go to line 12. Go to line 12 and start a comment. Okay, this function accepts a string name as a parameter. This function accepts a string name as a parameter and returns a 5-digit number, okay? 5-digit number.
As parameter?
As parameter. as a parameter, a as a, and parameter is P-A-R-A, P-A-R-A.
P-A-R-A.
Yeah, parameter. And say returns, and then on the next line after that, returns on, and then go to the next line, returns a 5-digit number calculated from the name. Essentially what you're doing there, but you're going to move that logic into this function, okay? And you got to make it a 5-digit number too, 5-digit integer, and call it a five-digit number, and make it a 5-digit integer, five-digit integer. Now, can we make it consistently 5 digits? One sec, okay? I want to make sure if we can make it consistently 5 digits. All right, there's a way to make it always 5 digits, even though you're not returning a string. Because if you come up with, you calculate the value and it's like 14. There's only 2 digits, right? But it's possible you get 14. How do you return 5 digits with 14? But there are ways. I'll leave that as an exercise because it's fun and a clever thing to play with. Come up with a way in which we make sure that the minimum number returned is 10,000. That's 5 digits. Okay. And then you calculate something else and add it to 10,000. That'll make it 5 digits. Except you got to make sure that whatever you add to 10,000 doesn't take it to 6 digits. All right. Then you get 5 digits, and it's all part of fun. Okay, part of fun to figure out how can I'm calculating a number. I get a floating point number, and it's something like 122.7, 73.2, whatever. Right. But you have a rough range of what the number is going to be. Because you know the average has got to be between 0 and 255, but the maximum ASCII value is 255, isn't it? Each byte goes from 0 to 255, doesn't it? Yeah. So the maximum ASCII value you can have for any single character is 255. Technically, it is less than 255 because it's only printable ASCII characters. But even then, the maximum value is 255. That means the average ASCII value is definitely less than 255 because it's the sum divided by the number. Isn't it? The average is definitely less than 255. So you have an upper bound on the maximum ASCII value. And you have a lower bound too. It's probably not 0. Maybe it's 65, lowercase a. Right? So you have the lower bound and upper bound. So all you need to make sure is generate a number from 0 to 8,999, right? 8999. In the range of 0 to 8999, scale it. Right, and then add it to 10,000, you got a 5-digit number. But I shouldn't really, I sucked the fun out of it for you. But hopefully, I didn't make a lot of sense. Okay, because this is one of the ways in which you can figure out how you can get a 5-digit number. That's what you're going to do, right? 5-digit number is and is returned from this function, right? Go to the a 5-digit integer calculated from the name is returned. And returns a 5-digit number calculated from the name. Right. Now on the next line, main will call this function to calculate the secret number for the input. This function to calculate the secret number for the input name. You can go to the next line. Yeah. Okay, and then let's also call, write the signature for this function on the next line. Yeah. No comment. You can actually start the signature of the function itself, right? Here, you're going to say size t. In fact, forget about it. Let's not use size t. Say unsigned int, right? Unsigned space int. And you can talk about all of this in the forums and say, hey, we used something called unsigned int. What the hell does it mean? And then someone can do some research, and Eva posted something about 2's complement or something like that. Yeah. So someone could actually, someone did on the forums. Someone posted something about 2's complement recently. Or various things. Lots of interesting things have been posted on the forums, right? So someone could do some research and say, hey, what is this unsigned int? Why did we use that? What if we used int or size t? What is the difference? Yeah, those things. Right? Unsigned int space, and then the name of this function should be calculate underscore special underscore number. Okay, and it takes a parameter. So open parentheses. And no space before the parentheses, just stick it to the, yeah. And then here, you're gonna say string name, because name is being given to it as a parameter. String space name. Anything about this that is perplexing or not 100% clear, please ask to either slow down, like Ian said, or ask and say, I don't understand that. You can also choose to ask in the forum and say, hey, in our lecture, I'll try and get this on YouTube too, so you can put the time marks in there, because on Zoom, it's kind of, on Canvas, getting to a particular timestamp is hard too. I'll try and get it on unlisted in YouTube or something like that and get it in your hands so that you can refer to a past lecture, this lecture, and say, hey, in our lecture, time link, right? And the link will say time 1 hour 22 minutes, right? And you click on that, you can see this part. And say, hey, we said unsigned int. What does it mean? I did some research. This is what I found. There you go. Like it's a very nice chunk for you to make a short, participation post on. Not really participation for the sake of participation, but something for you to, keep your feet wet all the time. So, so I'm just giving you lots of opportunities like this. You should think of all of these opportunities as extra credit opportunities, okay? Even though you're not getting extra credit like this, like that, just don't know. You should think of them as extra credit opportunities because, I do look at those things at the end of the quarter when I need to do grade adjustments and so on. I do look at the forum and say, hey, who's gone out of their way to make observations and things like that, which we're not required to do.
I have a question. Is it okay to use a name as in integer main string name, and then you're using the word name again in another function call? Aren't those two different variables? Because you're going to use name inside the int function. Should you call it something different?
Good question, Richard. Okay, the answer is you can actually use the same name because they are not the same name. What is there is something called scoping of variables in programs. Scoping is when does a variable get vivified? Viv comes from Latin life, right? So when vivified in computer jargon, in programming jargon, means when does a variable or entity become alive? When can you add to it? When can you subtract to it? When can you read it? When does it come into existence? Until then, if you refer to the variable, the compiler will say no such variable. But at some point, the variable comes into existence until it dies. And after the variable dies, you can refer to it again. Yes or no? Have you encountered this in programs? So when you write programs, you declare a variable here, but sometimes you refer to the variable and it's gone out of scope. It's not because it's gone outside there's actually an algorithm to find out how it enters scope, and you got to do bracket matching and so on and so forth. But here, what's going on is that the name in the variable name in the function main that Richard pointed out comes after the curly brace, yes? So the life of that variable begins from the point it is born, which is where it says string name right there. What is it? Line number 20? Okay. When does it die? And that is the tricky part. When can it not be referred to again? It dies the moment you come to a curly brace that matches the first opening brace before it was declared. Okay. So that is the end of main. So name only lives within that. Now, inside of that function, you may call some other function. Inside of main, you may calculate that, and that has the variable name. And so that is another thing that Richard brought up, saying, well, you know what? Main still hasn't died, and it's still got a variable called name in main. Yeah, so the main is still not dead, which means name is alive. Name inside of main is alive, yes or no? And there you've called that other function, and that function also has a variable called name. So there's two names, and they're both alive at the same time. Now, it is a very subtle point, okay? And I'm very happy and glad that Richard brought this up, because this is not a case where we have two variables of the same name and one of them is dead already. Yes? In this case, we have two variables of the same name and they're both alive at the same time. However, the compiler makes sure that because of the scoping rules, they are in different spaces altogether. Okay, so that is in a different stack space compared to this stack space. Now, after week 8, I don't know, maybe Caitlin or Josh knows. At some point, we talk about functions and stacks, okay? Now, what happens is that main's copy of the variable name lives in a frame called a stack frame, okay? Whereas in memory somewhere, okay? Whereas that function that, Zara's writing right now, calculate number, that's also got a number, a variable called name that also lives in a stack frame, but that stack frame is a different stack frame. So they're both there. They are not being released. They're alive, but they're both there at different places. Therefore, that function, which refers to name, is actually referring to a different name. It is actually referring to ABCD XYZ 942 name, right? Whereas this guy is referring to another name, is a different stack frame, right? XYZ 437 NAME, right? So different. The compiler arranges things so that even if you have the same name, which kind of suits us as English or natural language programmers, because we don't have to resort to convoluted names. We can use the same name, anything that makes sense, and the compiler will make sure things are set apart in different spaces. Now, people like Richard,
I think you can like provide a real example to them so they can actually see what you're talking about, like by having them print out the address and see how there are different addresses depending, like in
Yes.
main, do like print address of name and then do it the function too so they can see.
Thank you. Did everybody understand what Josh was saying? Well, Josh said basically you can actually run a quick experiment too in your and you should do this on your own or even in a tutorial session with Josh or Caitlin. In the function, you can say, what is the address of this variable called name in main? What is the memory address, byte address where it is stored? There's a way to print it out. There's an operator called an ampersand. It'll print out the address, and you can do the same thing there. You can say, hey, 2 different memory addresses. So that is
so it works technically. It works with the compiler, but for the user that's reading your code 5 weeks from now, wouldn't it make more sense to change it to make it more understandable and more readable?
You can, yeah, you can use it. But I think it is also very useful and important to understand that you can use the same name in different places because the scoping rule is quite simple and it comes naturally. But the one thing that the thought I started to talk about was, Richard in his intro said he has experience in programming with assembler and some of the early programming language, even Fortran, right? Where I think local variables were not a big thing in those days. I remember when I learned, I was an electrical engineering student too, and I learned Fortran. I didn't know about local variables for a very long time. And then you have to create your own frames and disambiguation namespaces and so on, and especially in assembler and so on. So it is a bit of a switch to understand that the compiler can actually take care of these things for you. You can have the same name and then it'll just automatically work out for you. So it is useful to just get into the hang of doing these things. Yes. So thank you, Richard, for it is a good suggestion that we should use a different name for now, but rather we'll use the same name. All right. So next line after on the same line, go to the end of the same line, space and then curly brace, space and then curly brace. Right. Hit enter. Hit enter. All right. Now one more enter. Right, and say return lucky underscore number. Okay. Lucky underscore number. Okay. All right. Now go above that line, and hit enter. Yeah, there you go. And you can put a to do there. To do, complete this function, and also adjust main to use this function instead of calculating the value by itself. Yeah, and you guys are going to do that. How about 10 minutes? Okay. Now, not Zara. Okay, Zara already had a chance. Also, not many of you have had a chance. Okay, Richard, Zara, Jin, Matthias. I'm actually surprised. Lots of people had a chance. Anyone who hasn't had a chance to go before? Lan, do you want to? Yeah, you want to try? Who wants to try?
Oh, I said I want to try if I can share screen this time. Last time it didn't
Mark,
work.
yeah, Mark. Okay, so Mark, I thought you went already. Did you try a couple?
Oh no, I tried to share screen, but it didn't work.
Okay, all right, go for it. Okay,
but if anyone else wanted, I don't know.
Go for it. Mark, thank you, Zara. Okay. Oh, by the way, to do complete that to do and then hand over to Mark. Okay. To do, what is it? Yeah, complete this function. Complete this function. Complete this function, okay? And after that, click on the orange share. Mark, do you already have a copy of the code, or does she need to share the URL?
Should I just click on the link?
You do want it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. So share it. Mark is going to pick it up and share the screen. Zara, thank you so much for coding. This was useful, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I learned a lot.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So everybody should listen to what Zara just said. Okay. By the way, Zara, it was a little bit first time you're coding. Yes. First time you're live coding in class. When you first started doing it, it was a little bit unnerving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So that is how it is for everybody. Everybody. Without exception, every single person who has coded so far, that's what they told me, even on Reddit. But at the end, they all say, I'm glad I did that, even though it was unnerving. Please give in to the benefit of the doubt, okay? As you know, believe that this is going to happen, even though it feels like you're going to die on screen. You just have to be rational and say, no, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm not going to die. I'm going to get through this and end up having fun. So Zara, as a case in point, talk to her also offline. You can DM her. Okay, everybody who's coded so far. Mark, thank you so much for volunteering. Okay, so I'm here. Josh is here too, and Caitlin. You should all feel free to bounce around between yourselves. Okay, and then if oh, by the way, who is it? Yeah, if Mark finishes,
Can you guys see it?
just nominate. Yeah, I can see it. All right. If you finish ahead of time, you just have to. Hey, by the way, Mark, it should be an anonymous window. Is this a private window?
No, sorry.
All right. So open a private window. Everybody, just make sure, okay? Because then we'll have to. We won't be able to publish. Not. Well, I don't know. We're not publishing. But certainly, try not to have.
There we go.
Good. Thank you all.
Sorry.
I'm going to turn the laptop around. Is that okay with you guys? So was it better that I'm not in your face and you can just continue talking? But you got to keep talking, okay? If you're not talking, I'll have to come back and sit in front of you and I have to start talking again, right? So are you guys okay? Can you all talk? Give me a thumbs up. That means that is a signal to me that I can, all right. Thank you, Sophia. Right? All right. Great. Great. Ian, are you good? Is this a good pace for you also?
I kind of got lost again. It was definitely better than last time, but it's still a little fast for me. I know I don't want to slow everybody else down, but
No. Okay. All right. How about this? Okay. After Mark, Ian is going to code exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Okay. So I'm nominating Ian to go after Mark if we have time today or Tuesday. What time is it today? 7:28.
How do I modify this thing? I don't think I can modify it.
Oh,
No,
you have
hit fork this, the green button.
Sorry.
No, the green button, fork
Oh,
this.
okay, I see.
No, up. Green. You see the green, two green buttons? Run.
It's next to run.
Next to run.
I already did it. Can you see
No,
it?
you didn't
I
do
think
it.
you're sharing the wrong window because you're still on your personal. You have to share the private.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying online GDB.
Yeah, can you see?
Yeah, but if you see his bookmarks, it's still on his. It's not on his private window, right? I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
It's not your private window. This is not your private window. Kill it.
I did do it, but
maybe you're not
You have to
sharing.
reshare. Yeah, you have to reshare it.
You have to reshare your.
okay, let me just stop sharing for a second.
So after Mark is done, and I think Mark should be done in 10 minutes, okay? 10 or 15 minutes max. We still have time. I'd like Ian to share the screen and do exactly the same thing. Now, Ian, for practice, what you can do is whatever Mark is doing, do it simultaneously on your screen. And when you are online and doing it, don't look at what you've done, okay? You're just going to be typist and someone else is going to call out the code. You're not even going to type, right? So you'll have triple practice that way. And at the end of class today, you will also feel totally comfortable, okay? So at least there's two people that feel much better about coding than they did at the beginning, okay? At least two, more than that maybe, okay? So I know Zara and Ian, and hopefully also Mark. Thank you, okay? All right, so I'm going to leave this again in your hands, and Caitlin and Josh are also here, okay? And
figure out how to eliminate my bookmarks.
You don't have any bookmarks in your, I don't think private bookmarks are an issue with private, yes?
Yeah, I still see it when I have my private window somehow.
Well, you can open up the private window and then also go to online GDB. then share, you won't see the bookmarks. I think the bookmarks are all, you know, up front in the blank window.
All right. Okay. I mean, I don't mind sharing that.
Yeah,
Could
still,
just-
it's just bookmarks, but still,
Yeah.
you can try other browsers like Chrome or something like that. Also on Safari, there might be an option under the view menu to say hide bookmarks folder or hide bookmarks bar, show bar, all these things. You can find out. But if you don't mind, just share it. Okay, if it's just that
Okay.
one and it's 10 minutes. All
All
right.
right.
So when you're done, Ian is going to take over. Okay. And so just
Okay.
call me if any of you guys get stuck. And I hope you have a great time just getting the hang of this, right? It's just practice again and again, and you'll be having fun. Great. Thank you all. Okay. I'm going to turn the laptop around, and I'm going to be keeping an ear out to make sure that you guys are active and doing things, and not getting stuck.
I don't know if unsigned is a type, right? That
Yeah, we can go ahead and I guess instantialize that lucky number. I don't know if I guess we can do like unsigned spaced int space lucky number,
I think you can.
right? I guess
you
that way
mean
it specifies.
like calculate special number? That's what you're talking about.
On that current, on line 19.
Oh, you want to define it.
Right.
Yeah. Unsigned space int. Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe after lucky number, put a space and then just put like a pair of curly brackets.
Like
Or-
that?
yeah.
Is it?
that
I think it's a number, right?
Yeah, it's basically an integer that's only positive.
Yeah.
Good. A curly
I
bracket?
don't think the curly braces are necessary. You can probably assign it to 0 or just leave it with just the
Yeah.
semicolon.
Yeah, it just depends on how you want to instantialize it.
I didn't know that. All right.
We could do that.
Okay. I mean, should I just first comment out all of the?
Well, what I think we can do is we can have well, I don't know how we want to structure this, but we could have the input come from main, or is everything supposed to go into this special function?
I think that's what it meant. So, I guess we could just like.
The stuff from lines 32 to 36 are probably the ones that should go into the
Yeah.
Right.
Oops. Okay. And we also had to make it a 5-digit long, right?
I mean, if it's always a 3-digit number, can we just add?
It's a
10,000.
float. I guess like what he meant was sig figs.
So
If
if
I'm
it's gonna
saying-
be an unsigned integer, will it?
Oh wait, wait, but we're returning a float, I mean. So are we gonna cast it, casting it to a unsigned integer?
Sorry, also he mentioned that you can take off that float in front of the name.length. That one is not needed.
Or maybe we don't cast any of them to floats, right?
Oh no, just one float is fine.
Yeah.
But if we're returning an unsigned integer,
So
shouldn't the average be an unsigned integer? Oh, okay, so
yeah.
I don't know if that works.
no, but
Should we?
we're still getting the average.
Yeah, right, I guess.
Well,
So
the
if-
average is the lucky number, right?
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah, I
Just-
think we have to multiply the average by some number to get a 5-digit integer.
Okay, if we get the average and the average is lucky number, do we still have to cast total value into a float?
Oh, so if I'm following this, are we trying to get the average and then we're kind of moving the decimal point to the right? Sorry, yeah, to the right. So we'll have like a 5-digit unsigned integer.
That I didn't understand what he meant by having the lucky number be 5 digits long. That's what I assumed too.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no decimal spaces. So shouldn't the average not be a float?
Yeah, it should be an unsigned integer. And I guess I was just trying to
Should we not cast total value into a float and initialize average into an unsigned integer? I don't know how that works. So like this right here, do we need this? I'm pretty sure you can get an average without it being a float, right? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think that works too.
It
I
round
guess it's
down
better.
to that int instead of giving the precise number?
Right.
It doesn't matter, right? It's
Yeah.
just so right now we're trying to convert the float average to
But I don't understand why we're doing float if we're returning an unsigned integer. Right? Isn't that
Because
just
we're gonna try to get a 5-digit number. Is that correct?
I was understanding like we're converting the float to an unsigned integer where we're kind of moving decimal points to the right. But I think what you meant was just making it an unsigned integer, right? Instead of
right?
And
Total value. I mean, obviously, like it's up, I don't know, it's up to you guys. Or it could just be an integer and then we add it to lucky number. Because lucky number has to be a 5-digit number. This will always be within 1 to 3 digits, right?
or are we trying everything we can just make it 5-digit?
I mean,
guess.
if it's always going to be a 3-digit number, can't we just add 10,000 to it and it's always a 5-digit number?
I guess. There's a lot of ways to do it. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
What I would do, and this is a very strange way of doing it, would be I would convert it to a string and use string formatting to make it 5 digits. It's real easy to do once it's a string, and then convert it back to a unsigned integer, and then send it back. That's kind of a long way around.
No, I get it. I was thinking about that too, but I don't know any string formatting. I guess we need string in that case.
Oh, apparently you don't need that.
Oh, wait, we're gonna use that?
That's what, yeah, that's what Professor said earlier.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. So for me, I would make average an int. I would divide it, and then I would just add 10,000, and that's always 5 digits, right? Because the maximum it could be is 255 or whatever.
255. You could just multiply it by 100. Right?
But then that doesn't guarantee, right? If you do 10,000 plus a 3-digit number, it's always going to be a 5-digit number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that adding 1,000, but I think he said the number was 8,900 or 89,900.
Adding like a 700 would do, right? Should I first cast average to Is this what we're looking for?
So depending on the lucky number, it might not be.
Yeah, right.
What's
That's
the
why I was
700 for?
Just make it big, so it's 5 digits.
Isn't the largest like alphanumeric ASCII value like 100 and change?
It's 256, 255.
That's
Yeah.
the largest possible ASCII value, but if are you really gonna type ASCII character 255? It's
Somebody
probably
might.
gonna be like A to Z.
Yeah, it's an edge case though, right? That's possible.
So
It
And that
could
would
be
still
very
only be
low.
4 digits max.
so it's 3 digits max, right? Because it's the average of all
Yeah,
that.
so it's the average. That's why I said add 10,000 and it's always gonna be 5 digits.
Right, right. Only 89,000. Because he mentioned the number 89,000 for some reason. I don't know why.
So then 8,500. If 255 is the highest possible average.
So where do we add it? A
You
lucky
can do
number.
upper third.
Could we just do like a map to something like, I don't know if that's easier. I don't know, where,
Unsigned int average plus.
You can also just multiply it by a value.
yeah, like 100.
100,000 divided by 255 is about 392.
What if it's 1?
Then you get 392, and that's your lucky number.
But that's not 5 digits.
Oh, it needs to be precisely 5 digits or not up to 5 digits?
Yeah, precisely 5 digits integer. Could we do a
I think the biggest problem is we don't know what the meaning of that number is.
I think we're just trying to make sense of it. Like it just had to be 5 digits, but then we start with name. I think that's what he meant.
Like take the number and then just concatenate some number of digits to it.
Good way. Yeah, we can't use string, can we? How do you convert it to a string? I don't know if we want to do that.
I think it's.
Sorry, what are those variables for? The minimum and maximum?
I'm thinking about can we map this to a range? The average value. Or the converted.
Well, I don't know. But I just feel like it's like overcomplicating it. If we just add
Right.
5-digit number to a 3-digit number, unless it's too high, then it'll always be a 5-digit number, right?
So what can you do?
So I would just make lucky number equal to unsigned int average plus 10,000 or whatever you guys want it to be. Because if the max number is 255, then your max is 10,255 and your minimum is 10,001, right?
Should we try that?
So I think you line 34 and 35, you can put that back in. And then you call
Oh, yeah,
that
we could do
name
that
within
too.
the function.
Or if we did.
Just A.
Maybe that was. What's like the largest number in the ASCII letter? Would it be a?
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that works.
The biggest one that you can type is a tilde.
Tilde?
Yeah, like right above your tab.
That?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Then.
Although I think if you start going into like other languages, like if you can type in Chinese, that'll probably make something pretty big.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that. I can try like.
If you have a keyboard with a numpad, and you
Oh,
press
that's
like
for
hold
pi.
the
That's
Alt button,
Did you
if you
just
hold the Alt button and put in a
valid to
number on the
negative?
numpad,
sorry. You guys are talking together.
Say that again, Josh.
if
I
you have
tried.
a keyboard with a numpad and you hold the Alt button and put in a number on the numpad, that gives the ASCII value of whatever number you put in.
I don't have a numpad. I have a MacBook.
I think if you press the globe key, then it gives you all the emojis and stuff and symbols.
So
I
here
tried pi, but then it gives me a 4-digit number. So I
that's
guess
why
we
I
need.
think
Is the pi ASCII a negative number? Which that doesn't make any sense.
but even if it is, that's why I think we shouldn't cast a float on the total average, total value or the average, right?
Just so you guys know, computers don't use ASCII anymore. They use like UTF-16, which is way bigger than ASCII. That's how they support other emojis in other languages and stuff.
Oh, you put an emoji here.
Okay. How do I get emoji?
You can type stuff into the here, I'll just
Oh, nice. Try that one.
Guess that works. Why is it online? That's strange. I think, can we get the same number for different texts?
have you tried printing total value like in the function?
And you should also cast total value to float because you're getting the wrong average now.
I think we need a lower. It still gets less than that.
Take a look what I put in the chat box.
Is it a cool emoji?
Okay, so what I think is happening is that a float is being casted to an unsigned int. That's messing it up because it should already turn into an unsigned int without the cast.
Is that right?
Why don't we
You
rerun
might
it?
want to add statements just throughout this program, printing the values, because currently you're looking at what you're putting in, what you're getting out. It's otherwise a black box. You don't know what's going on inside. So like print total value, print average.
Oh, my bad. Value equals- Let me try it again. It's negative.
Yeah. So why don't we just make average an unsigned int?
Because then that changes to an int. I don't know if that changes the accuracy.
No, like when we define it.
You can also just circumvent the problem by adding a number bigger than 10,000.
True.
Or make total value an unsigned int, so that way it doesn't subtract.
Yeah. Here.
No, I
Oh.
mean like where it says int total value equals 0, make that unsigned int total value equals 0.
And then adjust it.
Oh, we don't need a float?
Right, you still need to float because the average is going to be a float.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So it'll just get like the absolute.
I don't know how big a number we have to add. Okay, that doesn't work.
I think it's still a negative number, so now it's just overflowed from int limit.
It's not a negative anymore.
Wait, can you try it?
No, your total value is not a negative number, but the value of the pi character is negative. And since you can't actually have a negative unsigned int, it overflows and wraps around from about 2 billion.
Oh, I see. So I was not going to try that. So any like letter that would work.
Normal like alphanumeric names should work fine. It's when you get to funny characters that aren't in the standard ASCII table that it starts to make funny results.
Okay. I guess it just works then. We don't even need that. All right, should I paste it in a chat so like somebody else take over?
Are you guys done? Ian, does this go now? Can I take a quick look? Hang on. So you got a int lucky number, and then total value, what's the name of I, and then average. You're calculating the average plus 10,000. But the average, but the average you calculate will be something like less than 255, right? So it's going to be like 10,000, between 10,000 and 10,255. Okay, let's make one small change to it before you share it, okay? Go to the previous line where you say, go to line 25 and hit enter. Now, Ian, by the way, okay, I'm happy to have you do the same thing. And I can walk you through it too. People who have to leave can go, or Ian, if you need to go also, you can say, well, I'm happy to do this with Josh or one of your classmates or during a session with some of your friends, but you have to do it once, I think. And I'll be happy to help you walk you through this at the end of this class if you want. What time is it now? Yeah, I have a little time to help you with it. Or if you're happy with doing it on your own, that's fine with me too. But so let me
a little bit late, Professor.
Yeah, okay, but before Tuesday, you've got to get comfortable with this. So you got to do this like a couple of times at least.
Yeah, I was saying I can stay a little bit late after this class.
Oh yeah. Okay, great. You can stay late. Okay, all right. So here, what I want to do is so the average. I think the maximum your average will be 255. But let's say we want to stretch it out from between 0 to 255. We want it to go from 0 to what did I say before? It's got to be more than 10,000. So it's got to be 9,000, right? So you got to stretch it out to 9,000 instead of 0 to 255. Okay, all right. So you'll divide by 255 and times 9,000. Okay, so that's what we'll do. All right. So float average. Yeah. So you're going to say average equals Next line. Yeah, there you go. You say average equals. No, not a comment. Just type it in. Yeah, average divided by 255, which is the biggest you could have as an ASCII, right? And guarantees that it's going to be times. Technically, you don't need the parentheses here because they're all the same level of. But I appreciate it. If some people would put the parentheses here just to group things together mentally. So it's entirely a style related thing. It times 9,000. Okay, times 9,000. Oh, divide by 255, not times 2. Divide by 255 times 9,000. Okay, and let's put a comment on that line. Semicolon and put a comment. And then put a comment on that line. Scale average to be in the range 0 to 9,000. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna add. No. Oh, I see. We want it to be no 5 digits. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And this should be lucky numbers average plus 10,000. Is it how many zeros are there? I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can't see. How many zeros? Is it 10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I guess if we.
No. This should be if it's 5 digits, we want to go from 0 to 9999. Yeah. And then we're going to add 10,000. So we need, basically 9. My basic math is arithmetic is kicking in here or kicking out here. Is this right, by the way? Is plus, right? So
I don't think, can we add 10,000 today?
9,000. No, I say, oh no, for 90,000. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, 9 followed by 4 zeros.
Yeah.
90,000. All right. So so it's now then we add 10,000 to it. That's right. Okay. Then we add 10,000 to it, and we're guaranteed a number. Okay. Our lucky number will now be 5 digits big. Yes. Now, if any, it should always be 5 digits, okay? And it's kind of funny. Now, why is it always 5 digits? It's not so obvious. Maybe it is actually obvious, but maybe it's not so obvious. I don't know, because I thought that maybe it is not obvious to some people. Hear a beeping noise?
Oh no, sorry, that's my computer fan.
Oh, okay. It's heating up or something. All right. So, but anyway, if it's not obvious to you why it is guaranteed to give you 5 digits, which I hope it does. If it doesn't give you a 5-digit number, you should, say, hey, I've discovered a corner case. It doesn't work in this situation.
Could we just do like average divided by 255 times 9,999?
Times no, then yeah, if you do that, so that is why wouldn't you do that? Okay, who asked that question, by the way? It's a very good question. Who asked that?
Oh
yeah, Mark. Okay, so hey, that's a great question. Okay, why don't we, instead of adding 10,000 to it, Mark is saying, why don't we just times 100,000? That's good.
Then I guess we could cast it back to it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Why don't we not? Why do we not do that?
Because you don't get.
That's what I was thinking we'll do, right? When I started the class, I thought, yeah, that's all we have to do. But then I realized later on, and I think I might have even mentioned this during class. Oh, it's not going to work, because what if I get a number like 123? Because if I multiply it by 100,000, I could get 123 or 23 or 14. But it's not for 5 digits. I have to pad it with zeros. But that means it becomes messy. What do I return? Do I return 14 or do I? It's messy. Yes or no?
Wait.
All right. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. We shouldn't waste time thinking about these things. But if it's of interest to you and it's it's fun to noodle on these things, you can talk about it in the forums. You can say, hey, what does the dance? This crazy dance we did in that function, which times 90,000 and so on. Why did we do it? And what does it guarantee to us? Okay. and it'll be fun because you'll be doing a lot of hacks like this, especially if you're going to be something like do some data engineering and things like that. In the future, anyway, you got to make sense of stuff, right? And you got to add and subtract. You learn to tease trends out. And these are things that you'll be doing a lot of mini hacks like this, just to say, I'm going to transform this into something I can grok, right? And then you only look at the changed version, not the original version from that anymore. So this is just practice, I think, right? And saying, well, I'm going to guarantee it's always going to be 5 digits. So I don't have to write a downstream function, which needs to make these distinctions. All right. So anyway, this is what Ian is going to do. Now, hopefully, you don't have to share any of this. And then Ian can have a good look, and then he's going to share a screen, and then he's going to do the whole thing. And he's going to do all of it by himself. I'm going to watch, and I'll only answer or help out when asked. Okay. And people are welcome to stick around, but is it past bedtime already? No, not bedtime. You little kids. All right. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. It's like 7:50, right? So thank you all for sticking around, right? And for your patience. And I'm going to stick around with Ian. Okay. And people are welcome to stay behind and participate in the live coding exercise with Ian. Doing exactly the same thing. I'm glad that just with this little program that we started doing on Tuesday, at least 5 people now in class, just in the first week, 5 people have had a chance to implement that in class, live in front of other people. That's so cool. That is so cool. And I think that is the way that more and more students get jazzed up about this. It's really cool for professors. There's less and less work for us to do, because all we have to do is just make sure that you guys are having fun, and then we just stay out of your way, which is absolutely fantastic, and it's a great energy in your group. Okay, all right, go ahead, Ian. Whenever you're ready, share your screen. Go to online GDB, or even VS Code if you're comfortable, and you're going to do exactly the same thing. And you can talk through it if you want. Yeah, you can talk through it and say, hey, delete everything and start from scratch. Okay, delete for everything. Except the top comments on whatever it is that is required, and say, here's my main. Yeah, are you happy with doing the main also yourself? Or you can get the main if you want, right? You can Control Z out of this, get the main, and just implement the function. Whatever you want to do. Okay. All right, now we'll put the closing brace and then enter so that it's separated from main. And then you're going to fill in the to-do part. Yeah, enter one more time, enter. So it's separated. Yeah, no, not 2 times, no, once. Right, okay, now you're going to fill in the to-do part. That is the part that Mark did before you. And you're going to do the same thing. And hopefully, those who didn't get a chance to code today, you're also doing the same thing. Like when Ian started, he already had a screen with all the stuff typed in. So essentially, this is probably like a 3rd time now. Yeah. Yeah, 3rd time. Yeah, I think 3 times is good enough. It'll stick pretty well in most people's memories after 3 times. Each of you should be doing it, some version of it, and then change a little bit one more time, change a little bit one more time. And then you'll be totally ready for next Tuesday. Okay. Next Tuesday, we'll introduce maybe. Yes, it's the same kind of thing. Oh, yeah, we haven't done branching yet. We'll do branching in combination with these things. Hopefully get to more interesting stuff. All right, Ian, go ahead and do it, okay? I'm actually not going to talk you through the code, but I'll keep an eye on this. And there are other people who can help too. Yeah. Oh, Caitlin is still sticking around.
To be honest, Professor, I have like no idea what to type in.
Okay, all right. I can walk you through this or talk you through this. But someone else is also welcome to do so, right? I'm going to be here. If you like, I can, stay out of the way too, as it works for you guys. Would someone else like to talk Ian through this, or would you like me to talk him through it? No, everybody just give me your take on what you think would be the best thing to do, and then we'll go with it. All right, so nobody wants to talk Ian through it. So which means, is that okay? That can I take it as a, can I assume that everybody wants me to talk through this? Yeah, talk Ian through this, and you're going to watch? Yeah, a thumbs up at least. because otherwise, you know, maybe you're asleep. I don't even know if you're listening. All right, so I got Arav. I got a thumbs up from Arav. Nobody else, you know, Brandon, Ava, Sophia, Richard. Okay, all right, great. Okay, so I'm gonna talk Ian through this code. All right, so what does this function have to do? This is a function. Yes, Ian. Oh, you want to say? Oh, Brandon, want to say hello and take off? All right, yeah, that's fine. All right, so what all this function has to do is has to create a number which has got to be the average of the ASCII values on that magic that we did and return it. That's all it's got to do. So here's what we'll do. So we'll declare a number right off the bat inside of this function, and you say unsigned int, special number equals 0. Okay. Yeah, and then semicolon. Yes, equals 0. Yeah, semicolon, enter. Enter. One more time. Yeah, tab in, and say for size t I equals 0.
Sorry, repeat.
For no, oh, not number 4, for FOR. Yeah, so yeah, open parentheses, you have open parentheses, size t, size underscore t, I equals 0. A semicolon, that is a loop. So that's a standard, most common loop you're going to be using hundreds of thousands of times as a programmer. In many languages, it's the same format too. So you can get used to that. Yeah, no close parentheses, right? No, just a semicolon, right? And after the semicolon, put a space and say I less than, I space less than, space, name dot length, open, close, open, yeah, open, close, yeah, semicolon, I plus plus, yeah, open, close parentheses, right? No, just close, not open, close, just close. Yeah, enter. A tab in. You're gonna say special number. Yeah. Oh, did it autocomplete or did you type really fast there?
I auto completed that one.
Oh wow. So okay. Type special number space plus equals, space plus equals. Now, those of you who are unfamiliar with some of these operators, which you may not have used previously, like plus equals. What is plus equals? You know, I haven't used it before. You can do some research about it and share. Hey, you know, last class we used plus equals. What does it mean? Plus equals is just the same as add it and then return the value. That's what it is, right? Name square bracket I, right? Space name square bracket I. Yeah, and then semicolon at the end. Right, on the next line, enter, one more enter, and then back outside of the for loop, right? Back, yeah, one back. Yeah, all right, now you're going to say special number divided by name dot length. No, special number. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, special number divide equals. Special number divide equals. And then on the right side, you're going to say float within parentheses. I don't know if this is going to work, but it should work. According to the syntax, it should work, right? Space name dot length. Okay. So in other words, you're saying special number, your value is your value divided by the length of the name. Essentially, we're turning the special number into the average ASCII value. Yes or no at that point?
Sorry, repeat that, please.
So what's happening in that loop is that your special number started with 0, and in that loop, you're going through all of the ASCII values and adding that value to special number. Yes, because you got the plus equals. So let's say you had Ian, right? Special number was 0, then special number has the value I in it, or whatever the value of I is, right? Then it has the value for A added to it. Then it has the value for N added to it. So at the end of the for loop, it'll have the value I plus A plus N.
Okay, I think I understand a little bit better.
right? But you got to noodle on this more, okay? So if you leave it at the stage where you think you understand it, then you lose it. So that is a stage where most people lose it, right? So you say, well, I think I got it, so I can come back to it before the exam, all right? And it never works usually. If you don't get it in the next 15 to 20 minutes after you think you have it, it's gone for good. Right? So, and you can ask, obviously, you can ask me, you can ask the, tutors, Josh, Caitlin, Reddit, your classmates too. Many of your classmates may be able to help, right? So all we're doing is that the special number is a number. It starts with 0, and we're adding the ASCII value of each of the letters of the name, I, A, N, to special number. After the loop is finished, the length of the thing, okay, special number will be equal to the sum of the 3 things. Now we're going to divide special number by the length. So that'll give you the average ASCII value. Yeah. Okay. All right. So in fact, yeah, we put a semicolon after length, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, and put a semicolon and put a comment there, a semicolon and then a comment, space, and then start the comment. So don't stick to it. Yeah, and you want to say, make it the average ASCII value. Make it the average ASCII value. Oh, I see. Special number starts with 0, and then, oh, I see. You know what? Change that unsigned int to float. Change that unsigned int to float. Change that unsigned int to float.
This one?
Yeah, there. Change that to unsigned int to float. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's going to be float. Yeah, that's going to be 0, and then you're adding all the ASCII values to it, and then you could divide by the name.length. You don't even need to cast it anymore because it's already a float. Okay, great. Excellent. Length. Okay, now one more step we did, I think, before you return that value. So go to line 20 and hit enter. Yeah, there you go. On that line, I think you said, I think we said special number equals 10,000 plus 10,000 is one followed by 4 zeros. Yeah, 10,000 plus. Yeah, special number equals 10,000 plus equals 10,000 plus 90,000 times 90,000 times 90,000. Yeah. No, it has got to be special number divided by 255. Special number divided by 255. Because a special number is between 0 and 255, right? So if you divide that by 255, you get a number between 0 and 1 now. Because your special number is from 0 to 255, that's a maximum value. You take that and put that in the denominator. So when you divide it, the result will be some between 0 and 1, because the maximum of this is divided by this is 1. So it'll be between 0 and 1. Now, because you got that's called normalized. So you'll be doing a lot of this in data engineering, for example, normalizing things in the same, because if you want to compare things, you got to have in the same space, right? So now it's normalized to be in 0 to 1. Now that we know it is 0 to 1, now you're going to multiply that by 90,000. So it's basically ballooned up now, scaled back. Now it's between 0 and 90,000 now. Now it's between 0 and 90,000. Now add 10,000, you'll be guaranteed to get a 5-digit number. Yeah. All right. What is it? Special.
Sorry, I'm kind of lost.
Yeah, I got lost what you were typing here. Hang on just one sec, okay? You got the average. Okay, all right, here's what you got to do. So line 21, type, get rid of everything 255, get rid of all of the 255 and all that stuff now. Right? All right, special number equals. Oh, you lost the, no, one sec, make it the average. Oh, yeah, you have, all right, okay. All right, special number equals 10,000 plus, okay, 10,000 plus. Great, okay. Special number plus 90,000 times, 90,000 times special number divided by 255. Okay, All right, now you can, on the next line, you're going to say return special number. That's all. Okay. And now this should, when you run it and you punch in any name, you should get a 5-digit number. And put a blank line, no, semicolon after that, and put a blank line before the return. And you don't have a semicolon after the next return also, right? Yeah, blank line there, and then put a semicolon at the end of that line. No, it's just and then get rid of the to do complete this function because it's, I think it's now completed, and get rid of the blank line and everything, clean it up. All right, okay. So that's basically it. Run it, right? And any number now, hopefully. There you go. Right now, so type Ava's number or Sophia's name, and you should get the same thing, same number for the same name. Any number of times you get the same number, right? So if you type Ian again, your special number should always be the same. 43034. So that is your special number, right? So if you try, Ara, for example, yeah, it's longer. You know what? Yeah, okay. 5 letters, 6 letters, Sophia, and then everybody else is 3. 3 people with 3 letters to their name. Okay. Yeah, okay. So Ara, 4, and then Sophia maybe, right? And then if you try Ara, you should get the same number, or Ian, you should get the same. So this is basically it, and it's kind of cool. And also there is interesting things you can draw upon and talk about in the forum, saying, hey, we played this, and all the numbers seem to be distributed around. Start with 4, 5 digits, and start with 4. Can anyone think of any good reasons why? Here's one I thought of. Okay, no, I'm not going to say what it is, but obviously you can say, hey, I thought of a reason why all the numbers are like 4, 4, 4, 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, interesting things to noodle on and talk about. Fun stuff, actually. Was this useful, Ian? Okay, so you did this. You probably feel a bit more comfortable. What you got to do now is save this URL, but over the next couple of days, do the same thing, starting with a blank slate, without me talking through it, without anyone talking through it. The only thing is you can refer to this picture, this screenshot, or this thing that you've saved 2 times, maybe maximum, during any, and then you get it to 0. You should be able to go from word go to the completed runnable program without looking at it even once. Okay, and you should be able to get to that stage in less than 2 tries, I think, given from what you've done so far, easily. Yeah, and everyone should be able to do that. Everyone should be able to do that. Yeah, get to implementing this program without having anyone to talk to you, talk you through it, without referring to anything, not even your own code, and also go from 0 to the end. Okay, that's all. Right, and then we'll try and do some more interesting things next class. Thank you all so much, okay, for your patience. Ian, was this good?
Yeah, I think just like you said, I just kind of have to do like drills of it until I fully understand.
You got to practice more. Yeah, you got 4 days, but don't wait until the last minute. And I think everybody will be, recommended to do the same thing. All right, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Okay, have a great weekend.
Professor, really quickly, I had a quick question.
Yeah, sure. All right.
So the unsigned integer, that just means it's always a positive number, right?
Yes, it's unsigned integer means you're going to use all of the. So integer has 32 bits, isn't it? Because it's 4 bytes.
Yeah.
In C++. Most common integers now have 4 bytes. So that means 32 bits. If it's unsigned, you're having a 32-bit binary number. If it's signed, you have a 2's complement 32-bit number, which means that you only have 15 bits for the magnitude now. Previously, unsigned, you could have 16 bits for the magnitude. Now only have 15.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, bye.
See you guys later, okay? Bye.